Hey guys, it's Jen, and I am bringing you an Elle Studio layout today using the March kit and also some of the new Little Moments collection. So each one of, well, I think almost all of the Elle Studio monthly kits come with one of these little currently cards. And so what I did was have my daughter fill out all of her currently things. And I actually want to go back and change this creating because she's been making a lot of scrapbook layouts lately. But she thinks she's doing nothing, so I'm just going to leave it the way that it is and have it be her perspective on what she's currently doing. And then I took this photo of her today, so that's very current. And I'm going to scrapbook what she is currently loving for March. So I've got a few papers here, and I'm going to use some of, like I said, the March kit. So these are some of the cards and things from that. I also have pulled out some other things that I might incorporate: the Little Moments 6x6 paper, and a few stamp sets, some more Little Moments embellishments, and then this is one of the coordinating products for this month is the little stars. So most of what I'm going to be using for the main part of my layout is colorless, and so I'm going to bring a lot of color in the embellishments, and I'm going to create a border around the layout with this cute striped paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get started. So to get started, I am going to trim down that white cardstock because I know I want that diagonal stripe as a border, and I just love the way a diagonal stripe looks as a border. Always, it looks awesome. And then I'm going to trim the branding strip off of the bottom of that one as well. And I think I'm cutting about 1/2 inch off of both sides, so there's a 1/4 inch border. And now I'm going to see how I want to lay out these photos. So I'm just trimming my photo up. That is a little small guillotine trimmer. It is by Swingline. I got it at Office Depot. I've been liking it for trimming up my photos. So that March card, I'm going to slip in next to the currently card, and I want it to make it look like an extension of that card. And so I'm tracing around the word March because the word currently is outlined in black. And so I'm just doing kind of like a messy outline there so that they match a little bit. And now I'm going to play around a bit with how I want to bring some color in. So I knew once I stuck my photo up there and found that noteworthy card, I knew I wanted to create a grid layout. So I'm going to use that printable, which says important, down at the bottom, and then the noteworthy card to the left of the photo up at the top, and that's going to kind of form my grid there. You can see it already. And I'm going to use some of these acrylic stars to kind of fill in some of the spaces. So with a grid, you don't have to have like a piece of paper in each quadrant or each square or rectangle of the grid. You can have kind of a looser form, and that's what I'm going to do with the stars. I'm going to use some of the wood pieces from the new Little Moments collection, and I'm going to use Fave and Remember. And I'm just going to back the word Fave with some white cardstock so it stands out a little bit more, and stick it on that important little cutout that's from the printable sheet. So that March, the currently, and the noteworthy are all cards from the March kit, and now I'm going through some of the Little Moments die cuts to see if there's anything I might want to add. I kind of go through a lot of things deciding what I want on this layout to form my grid, and so you'll see me flip through a bunch of things here. I don't think I end up using anything from that Little Moments collection. I'm going to go through the little snippets as well and see if there's anything that I want to cut out, and I'm going to go into the 6x6 paper pad to see if there's anything I want to add too. So I'm just kind of flipping through all my options here. So the little snippets, labels, and things are perfect for grid layouts because they're all, squares and rectangles, and so they work perfectly for a project like this. I thought I might use that strip of hearts, and so I cut that out, and then the XOXO, but I end up not using either one of those. But they could have maybe worked on this layout. I decided that as an icon I would choose stars over hearts, and I didn't want to include both. So here I'm trying to decide if that little shot of pink might work to put my stars on top of. And then I decided I wanted it to be a little less structured, and so I'm going to leave the stars just on the white cardstock. And it just feels fresher that way. So I'll bring pink in another way. So because I can't decide what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead with what I do know, and that is putting that white cardstock on the background, and I'll put my photo and my March currently into place. So after I put those into place, I will also put the little blue important card and the yellow noteworthy card. And I like how both of those cards are solid, so they bring a nice shot of color into the whole layout. And then I'm going to go ahead and put down a few of the other embellishments that I know for sure are going to go in a certain place. So I'm just gluing off camera, sorry you can't see, that white cardstock underneath the fave wood piece, and then adhering that below important. And I decided to place it a little bit higher than I was originally going to, so I could stamp the date on there. And I think that layouts like this are fun to do monthly, or, you know, every once in a while at least. But I really love the idea. So in January, I did a layout of kind of what's going on with my daughter from my perspective. And this one is totally her perspective, which I absolutely love. It's very different from what I would have recorded about her. So I like the idea of getting her perspective. So here's where I'm going to try something that I end up not liking. I'm using a Tombow brush pen and writing directly on the photo, and it just ends up, the style of my lettering doesn't match with the rest of the layout. You saw me give a thumbs down there. I actually really love writing on my photos, but in this instance I didn't like it, so I'm going to reprint the photo. But I do like writing on my photos, and I do it quite often. So I'm going to just use something a little bit more blocky. While I'm waiting for the photo to print, I'm going to pull out the black Elle Studio letter stickers, which are new with the Little Moments collection, to see if I can spell it out on the photo instead. So here's the new photo, just trimming it down and going to try that again. So now I'm going to pull out those black stickers and spell out the words right now according to her. So I decided I wanted my title to be something like that rather than Malia Loves. I just like that better. And so I want it to be obvious that this is from her perspective. So it's going to say according to her. And I will skip through so you don't have to watch me lay down all of these letters. And by the magic of video, here we go. So I'm pulling a few other things from the March kit that I am playing around with to see if I might want to use. That little This Moment tab, the heart, and the bloom are all from the March kit. So I'm just playing around with those acrylic pieces. I know I want to bring in some more blue and yellow, and I'm also aware that I want to bring in a little shot of pink because I like girly things, and pink is just a color I love to use. So I'm thinking about that as well. I'm just playing around again to see if there's anything I want to add as far as a border strip. And I think I'm just kind of rifling through, seeing what else I might want to add. I'll go ahead and put this, oh, I haven't glued down my new photo yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to glue down that would remember piece in just a minute as well. And I'm just kind of creating a little cluster above the photo. I decided to put one of the acrylic stars right on top of the today little tab there, which I like how it fills that little space there. So here's where I'm bringing in some of the pink stars and a blue one in the left cluster. I thought I would put a blue one in the right cluster as well, but the 4 stars together is kind of bugging me. So I'm just going to let that blue card be the blue shot in that corner. So I'm going to work on my title, and I kind of decided that it was too bold in black, so I'm going to use white and put it on that yellow card. And I just like the way that softens things up. The black would have been nice, but it was just a little too much, I felt like. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that right on the card there. And I think you do have to watch me struggle through this entire process. So obviously I had originally planned to put the title on the photo, but I really like how white it is because it matches how white the currently card is. And so it kind of mirrors that. And so I felt like putting it on the card, the noteworthy card, worked a little bit better. And I'm just leaving a little bit of space below the title so that I can do a tiny bit of journaling. Most of the journaling comes from her writing. So here you can see I'm doing my journaling with my favorite black Muji pen. and I'll be sure to link to the products in the video description. Well, I'll link to the products that aren't Elle Studio. All of the Elle Studio products will be linked over on the blog, and I think that there is just like 1 or 2 things that aren't. So most of this stuff comes from the kit and the Little Moments collection. So now I'm going to go ahead and start gluing down those acrylic stars. I'm using some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in a fine line bottle, and that holds those acrylic pieces pretty well. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue those down. And that's where I decide not to use the blue star over on the right. At this point, I'm kind of trying to decide what else do I want to add. I know I want it to be fairly simple, but I'm going to add a little bit of stamping, and I'm just going to stamp the word hello up on that little tab, and then I'll also stamp the words you said above noteworthy. And it might take me a second to decide I'm going to do that. There we go. And I'm stamping those in black. And so there's just a tiny bit of that black in this stamping. And now I'm trying to decide again if I'm going to use that little heart border. I decide not to. So I'm going to staple a few things down here just for the look of it, just to add a little bit of visual texture. So I will staple on the wood veneer and on the little tab at the top and on the card, the March Currently card at the bottom. And there I am almost done. I decide to add some spray mist, and I've been loving adding, if you add mist in 3 colors, it kind of looks like confetti, especially when it's kind of bright colors. So I'm using a couple of colors of Mr. Huey's, and I'm just making sure I have the right colors, the ones that I want. And then the yellow is actually Heidi Swap Color Shine in Butter. And I will link to that below. I don't think that the Studio Calico mists are available anymore, but I just used a blue, a pink, and a yellow. And when it dries, it looks really cool, and you'll see that in the close-up photos. So after that, I do end up finding a pink star in the die cuts for this month's kit, and I'll add that up at the top with the little by the little tab that says today. You'll see that in the still photos at the end of the video here. I hope that you have enjoyed this layout and that you'll be sure to check out the details and the still photos over on the Elle Studio blog at shopellestudio.com/blog. I'll link to that below. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you'll join me again soon. You can find out more about me on my blog at craftyjenscow.com. Thanks for watching.